Happy Draft Day, Bears fans. I am Harrison Graham. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. We are presented by Rome. Upgrade your men's closet today at rone.com/chatsports. You can get 20% off with that promo code chatsports. It's all one word, RHONE.com/chatsports. All right, we got some draft rumors to dive into. Caleb Williams talking to reporters yesterday. Has he made his recruiting pitch for Olu Fashanu? Also, Rome Odunze, does he want to be a Chicago Bear? And has a new trade target emerged for Ryan Poles and the Bears? Lots to get into as we are just hours away from round one of the NFL draft. Speaking of which, we, of course, will be going live here on Bears Now, as the Bears are the center of attention this year, especially on Thursday night, which is tonight. Join us, 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central Time. The draft gets going at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Plenty to talk about leading up, so we will be live 90 minutes early. Okay, let's get to Caleb Williams here as he talked draft for about 30 minutes with reporters yesterday. Said he's enjoyed his visits with the Bears, was asked about the top 30 visit with several current Bears players, said he enjoyed that quite a bit. And he was also asked, hey, if you were in charge, what would you do with the number 9 pick? He said, and first of all, he said this in a way of like, clearly it's not his choice. So I don't want people saying, he's demanding for them to do this. That's not how it was at all. But he did say, if I was able to choose, I'd probably go Olu Fashanu because I know he'd put his life on the line for me, protecting me. And then I'd probably go one of the top 3 receivers, whoever is there at 9. And remember, and this is well documented, we've talked about it ad nauseum at this point, they were high school teammates. Fashanu was Williams' left tackle at Gonzaga College High School Prep there in Washington, D.C. They've played together. They know each other. They're good friends. And look, there's been talk that the Bears could go tackle at number 9 or in a potential small trade down from that number 9 pick. I like Fashanu a lot. I think if he had come out last year, he probably would have been the first tackle taken. He was still really good this year. Needs to improve as a run blocker, but has good technique. He's played in the Big Ten at left tackle for a couple of years now. And look, this really just comes down to a couple of things. One, how does the board fall in the top 8 picks, or really 2 through 8? We know what's happening at 1. And 2, how strongly do the Bears feel about Braxton Jones? I think he's been an above-average player. He's solid, but if they think Fashanu or someone else at left tackle is, a potential all-pro, then I would not be shocked if they made that investment to protect their new quarterback. And I think Olu's the second best left tackle in this draft behind Joe Alt. I think Alt is a step above him, but Fashanu's second. And then a lot of these other top tackles played mostly right tackle in college. Faltanu out of Washington played left tackle, but a lot of people think he'll kick inside. So, if it's him or Olu, I think I would take Olu unless they value the versatility and want to potentially plug him in at guard down the road. Talking about Faltanu and obviously Fashanu, I don't view as a guard, so they would have to weigh all of that. He did allude to the top 3 wide receiver prospects as well, Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze, and Malik Neighbors. We'll talk kind of deeper into Rome here in just a minute, but you guys know where I'm at. I think these are 3 of the top 5 prospects in this draft, and my stance hasn't changed. If one of those 3 players is available when the Bears are picking at number 9, I think Poles and the crew should send the card in and sprint to the podium and make that pick. I just think they're too good of players. It's a premium position. I get it. You traded for Keenan Allen, but he's also going to be 32 years old, and he's in the last year of his deal. We don't know if he's going to be here long term. And, oh, by the way, he typically misses a couple of games with an injury at some point during the season. And after DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, it's a big drop-off on this roster right now at receiver. So I'm still team top 3 receiver if one of them makes it to number 9. We'll react to all of it together here on the show tonight. This is the thumbnail for our live stream for tonight's draft coverage. So if you see this, you're in the right place. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notifications. Like I said, we'll be live at 5:30 Central. Okay, let's talk Rome Odunze as he kind of made the rounds yesterday, hopped on the Rich Eisen show, was doing all of that. He arrived in Detroit with Caleb Williams on the same flight. That seemed to be a coincidence, but maybe not because they were working out together along with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen, which I think is really interesting. And it's been my dream. I know a lot of Bears fans' dreams. Maybe the Bears themselves have the same dream of teaming up Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze in Chicago. Rich Eisen kind of asked him, hey, how's it been going with the training? What do you think about the Bears with Caleb? Here's kind of a long answer here. He said, definitely we've talked a little bit, talked about himself and Caleb. together, saying would be a fan of that, teaming up with Williams in Chicago. My top 30 visit went well. There was a sense of winning in the air, a sense that they were going to make things happen. The team was prepared to go all the way, and I think I could be a vital piece in that. I really like to hear stuff like that. You know, if I was a prospect going into different buildings, I would want to kind of feel out the environment. Is this a serious organization? Do they feel like a team that's heading in the right direction? And, you know, for a long time, that hasn't been the case in Chicago, but I think this has been an upward trend the last couple of years since Ryan Poles came on board. Inject this into my veins. I would love to see this happen. More on Rome and the Bears in a minute, but first, do have to tell you more about our sponsor, and that is Rome. Again, the best men's closet wardrobe out there. They reinvented the male's closet because it needed reinventing with their commuter collection they launched. Awesome dress shirts, casual wear. They've got blazers as well. I think what's awesome about Rhone is they're going to fit you out for every single situation. If you need to look business professional, they've got those type of items. If you want to hit the golf course for 18, you can do that as well. More casual, that is available. Happy hours, tons of fitting for you, and it's very comfortable. Looking good is easy. Plenty of clothing brands have clothes that look stylish, but are you always comfortable? Not always, especially in my experience. They've got the 4-way stretch fabric with their material that's going to make you feel comfortable, breathable product as well. Go check it all out at rhone.com/chatsports. That code chatsports will get you 20% off at checkout. My favorite part about Rhone, machine washable clothing. You're going to save even more money in the long run beyond the promo code because you're not going to have to go to the dry cleaners. You can wash these clothes, air dry them. You're going to be good to go. rhone.com/chatsports, code chatsports at Rhone. It's going to get you 20% off. That link is in the comments and description. Click and shop today and upgrade your wardrobe. Again, this was the photo that Williams and Odunze took arriving in Detroit as they were on the same flight together. I do find it interesting that they were training together in California with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, who sounded like they flew out as well. Caleb was also asked about Odunze in that same media scrum he did earlier, and he said it would be an honor to play with him in Chicago. So I think this is a realistic scenario. I think it's one that I would like to see play out. I think it's probably about 50-50 if he gets to 9. I could see a team moving up ahead of the Bears to get him. I could see, you know, the run on receivers coming a little bit earlier than expect. I think a team like the Giants are a wild card here. Do they go quarterback? Do they go Neighbors? Do they go Odunze? It's going to be fascinating to see how it plays out. But if you do somehow end up with this guy, I mean, this trio of DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, you put Rome Odunze on the outside where Tyler Scott is right there, and then Tyler Scott's kind of just your speed demon number 4. You feel a lot better about this wide receiver room if you were able to pull that off. Pick a player. Who would you rather have in round 1, either at the number 9 pick or in a trade down? Type RO for Rome Odunze or OF for Olu Fashanu. Give me Rome all day. I like Fashanu a lot. I wouldn't be upset if they ended up with him tonight, but if Rome's on the board, I think you got to take that player. All right, let's dive into a trade rumor here. Trey Hendrickson, the star edge rusher for the Bengals, requested a trade on Wednesday. He wants long-term financial security, it sounds like. He's got 2 years left on his deal, but he's going to be 30 in December, so I think he's kind of looking for that one more big extension here. And I don't blame him. 3 of the last 4 years, he's got 13.5 sacks or more, which is insane production, including 17.5 this past season. I mean, this guy is quietly a premier pass rusher. I mean, he is very, very good. He's been awesome for Cincinnati. It kind of helped bolster that defense since going over there. And again, what's a big need for the Bears? Really defensive line in general, but you've got Montez Sweat, who had a huge impact after the trade last year, but you have questions elsewhere. Interior, we'll see if Javon Dexter takes a step. There's been a lot of Byron Murphy buzz as a potential target at number 9. You put a guy like Hendrickson on the opposite side. In 12 months, you've gone from probably the worst edge room to one of the best duos in the league with Sweat and Hendrickson. I'd be surprised if it happened because if he gets traded, I got to think that some sort of an extension is in place. And are the Bears ready to shelf out another big extension? They already are absorbing Keenan Allen's $23 million. Maybe, and maybe you do trade for him and wait on an extension, but would he approve that if he was allowed that power? I'm not sure because the whole thing is stemming from getting more financial security. So we'll see what happens. I like the player a lot. I love the fit if you were to pull it off. My trade idea is this, 75 overall for Hendrickson. I think he's probably better than that, but he is going to be 30, and that's kind of the age for a lot of these players that teams kind of start to be like, I don't know. I mean, Keenan Allen was 11th in receiving last year, and he went for a 4th-round pick because he's over the age of 30. Hendrickson going to be 30 this year. So, I'd offer 75, see if the Bengals bite. If not, then I'd probably turn the page if I was the Bears. Would you do this trade? Type Y for yes or type N for no. I mean, could you imagine getting Odunze at 9 and trading 75 for Hendrickson? I mean, talk about filling 2 needs with premium players. That would be a whole lot of fun. Y for yes, N for no. I'm all in on it. I would do 75. I kind of had another thought, too, of I wonder if some kind of 9 for 18 swap to get Hendrickson could happen where Bengals get the 9th pick, you get 18 in Hendrickson. Could that be a possibility? Maybe. Do the Bears want to drop that far in the first round? I'm not sure, but it'll be interesting. I think there's a lot of players in this league that could get dealt tonight. Is Brandon Ayuk for the 49ers going to get traded? Is a guy like Hendrickson going to be on the move? Cortland Sutton, I think, is another name to monitor, probably more on day 2 of the draft, but there's always guys that get moved. There's a lot of players in this draft that teams want, especially early, and they might be willing to trade players to get them. So it's going to be very, very interesting. And we're going to cover it all, not just the Bears pick, although it will be Bears focused at 1 and 9. But we're going to break down every pick because the NFL draft is a whole lot of fun. We'll see what the NFC North does. The Vikings move up. It's going to be a fascinating night. 5:30 Central tonight, 90-minute pregame to get you guys ready for our Round 1 coverage. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll see you guys then.